President Trump is responding tonight after a racist video he shared online sparked bipartisan backlash, including criticism from members of his own party. The post showed former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama edited onto the bodies of primates. Fox 4's Casey Stiegel live in studio with reaction from the president and beyond. Casey.
Heather, good evening. President Trump was noticeably absent from cameras today, but he did speak to reporters this evening aboard Air Force One. He not only addressed the controversial post, he also says he's not apologizing for it. President Trump says he never saw the image that sparked national outrage and set the internet on fire after a video he shared online depicted former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as apes.
I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud.
The video was posted to his own Truth Social platform just before midnight Thursday, promoting false claims about the 2020 election, and ended with a brief image of the former president and first lady edited onto primate bodies as The Lion Sleeps Tonight played. As the public backlash grew, it was deleted.
We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
The White House explanation seemed to shift throughout the day. First, the press secretary called it a meme portraying the president as king of the jungle. Then it was blamed on a staff member, adding fuel to the fire.
Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior.
Criticism quickly emerged, including from members of the president's own party. Republican South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is the longest-serving black senator in U.S. history and chairs the National Republican Senatorial Committee, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. GOP Senator from Utah John Curtis posted, "The post was blatantly racist and inexcusable. It should never have been posted or left published for so long." The NAACP tells Fox 4 the moment carries broader consequences.
It has an overall corrosive effect on our politics, and it draws people into corners when we know that the American people have much more in common than what this administration would actually portray.
They argue responsibility still falls squarely on the commander-in-chief.
You're the executive. You are responsible for what goes out over your name. So if it went out without him knowing, that was negligence. If it was intentional, then we have to look at the motive behind it as a distraction or to express racial animus.
President Trump stood his ground, saying there's nothing to apologize for.
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine.
So the original clip appears linked to a longer AI-generated video shared online last year. It shows other Democrats depicted as animals, like former President Joe Biden as a zebra and Trump as a lion, with all of the other animals in the kingdom bowing down to him.